Hey there, thanks for joining me today. This is Laura Lynn with KeepInkingUp.com. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In San Antonio, Texas. And today I wanted to revisit a technique using the Stamparatus. I use my Stamparatus all the time, and I forget that not everybody knows about this tool or how to use it. There's numerous ways that you can use it, but I'm just going to share one particular technique that I use quite frequently with it. But first I want to just kind of visit with you on what the tool is. This is the Stamparatus. It's a stamp positioning tool, and it comes with two of these acrylic stamping plates that you can put on either this hinge or this hinge. That's where you're going to place your stamps. And then it also comes with a black foam mat for use with your photopolymer stamps. If you're using a cling red rubber stamp, you take this out and you just place your paper on this magnetic plate right here. Which reminds me, it also comes with two magnets that store on the back. Now I have wrapped my magnets with duct tape to give me a little handle to be able to maneuver these a little easier. Also, if you have the two of them out and they happen to jump to each other, they could crack and break. So hopefully this duct tape will prevent it from splintering too badly. But normally I only use one magnet at a time. We do have two, but you don't really need to use two. There might be an occasional instance where you might want to, but typically I just use the one. I'm going to leave that out because I am going to use it. Now we do have a couple of accessories that we've released since the release of the Stamparatus, and one is the deluxe foam mat. And I hope you can tell on the video, you can tell that there's quite a bit of a thickness difference. The original one is a little bit thinner than this new deluxe foam mat. And what I really like about this is it has the grid on it with a smooth surface, or easily cleanable surface, but the grid is really helpful. Before when you put your foam mat in here, you covered your grid, and I really value the grid in helping me line things up. So this is nice to have the grid back again on the foam mat. And if you've seen other videos, I actually use this for my regular stamping, even when I'm not using the Stamparatus. So I do highly recommend the deluxe foam mat. I believe it's only $6 here in the US, so it's a really good value, and it's very helpful. It's especially with photopolymer stamps, it's really helpful. So that is one of the other accessories. Another thing that you may have seen in my previous videos is our grid paper that fits perfectly in the Stamparatus as well. And you can tell I use this, again, not when using the Stamparatus either, just as scratch paper for stamping off, but it does fit perfectly in here if you need to use it while using your Stamparatus. So that's another accessory that we sell. We also sell additional plates to have, especially if you're doing a project that requires the use of more than 4 stamps, it might be helpful to have additional plates. We're just going to use the one. I'm actually going to take this one out because I've already done a little bit of preparation for this video. What I'm going to share with you is an efficient way of cutting and embossing some images. And we are going to be using the Bonanza Buddies bundle to explain this particular method. As soon as I saw this koala bear, I knew I just had to have this set. I have a real soft spot for bears. I collect bears, and the koala bear especially is he's just so cute. So actually that reminds me, I would ask that everyone join me in praying for Australia, the people in Australia and the wildlife there, especially the cute little koala bears. It's just devastating to watch what's happening there. So they are definitely in my prayers, and I ask that you join me in doing that. So anyway, we're going to be using the koala bear and his little face. There's 2 different images that we're going to be using. And what I have done ahead of time is I took a piece of Whisper White paper. Originally it was a solid piece. It wasn't this holy. And I slid it in my Stamparatus, and I placed my koala bear image there, and I stamped it. And then I cut it out, and then I've made a little asterisk so I know which one I did. After I did that, then I took the same piece of paper and I just cut a bunch of blank koala bears out. It's much faster to just set the die down and run it through your die cutting machine than it is to stamp, line up the die, run it through. Stamp, line up the die, and run it through. I stamped and did that once. That took a little bit of time. And then when I cut all of these out, they went really quickly. So that's an efficient way of doing it. Now that I have all these blank koala bears, I'm going to slide a koala bear in, oops, like a puzzle piece, and I'm going to make sure that my paper is up in the corner like it was when I started. And I'm going to use my magnetic bar here to keep it in place. And now I'm going to take gray granite ink, oh, I got it on my thumb, ink up my cute little koala bear, swing this over, and stamp it down. It'll stick to it, and I'll pull it off, and look at there, I have a perfectly stamped koala bear, and I can keep doing that on all of my blank koala bears. But he needs a face. Right now he's kind of a little bit scary looking, so I'm going to put him back in his little spot there, and I'm going to flip my plate over because I've put his face on the other side of this plate. I'm going to close up this gray granite ink before I make more of a mess, and I have my Memento Tuxedo Black. Make sure his body is right inside there like a puzzle, and then I will ink up his little face, swing this over, stamp it down, and look, his face is exactly where it needs to be as well. And I can just keep doing that over and over again until I get a bunch of koala bears. I have all of these already cut out, and I will, I have ink on my fingers. I will stamp all of those before I remove the stamps from this plate. Once I clean and remove the stamps from this plate, this process will no longer work, because that's the beauty of the stamp positioner. As long as this paper stays in the same place and the stamps stay in the same place on your plate, you can keep stamping multiples, as many as you need. So I thought this koala bear was just the cutest thing ever, and I stamped a couple of them in different colors to try to decide which color I liked the best. This one is in Smoky Slate. I think that's a cute one. This one is in Sahara Sand. I'm not as pleased with that color. I don't think that's a very accurate color of a koala bear, but I thought I would give it a try. This one is Basic Gray Ink. I like that one. And then this one is the gray granite. I like the gray granite one the best. That's why I showed it in this video. And here is a card that I made with a gray granite koala bear. This uses the coordinating designer series paper that comes with in the suite of products for the Bonanza Buddies. This stitch tag is one of the other dies in the stamp set. And then this Life is Better with a Friend Like You image is from the Peaceful Moments stamp set from the Peaceful Poppies suite of products that I shared in a previous video. So isn't that a fun card? It's so bright and cheery. I love this crushed curry crinkled seam binding ribbon. So anyway, I love this koala bear, and I just wanted to share how you could stamp a whole bunch of them very efficiently, stamp and cut them very efficiently. So anyway, I hope you learned something about the Stamparatus, and if you don't already have one, you really do need to have this tool. It's a fabulous tool to have at your at your not at your leisure, but at your hand, so you can stamp and move along really easily. It's really good for mass production. And I have other videos that explain some other really good techniques that you can use with this, like hinge set stamping or mirror stamping. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful to remind you about how to use your Stamparatus, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.